power. So energy means there are various forms of energy, but in our subject energy you mean that this is the electrical energy. Please remember, in any electrical conductor, if you want to have a non-zero amount of current flow, please remember, in a electrical conductor, if you want to have a non-zero amount of current flow, you have to spend some amount of energy. If you spend some amount of energy, then only current can flow. If you cannot spend any amount of energy, the current cannot flow. So to have a non-zero amount of current flow in a conductor, some amount of electric energy has to be spended. Okay, and the rate at which this particular energy is changing with respect to time is what we mean by the power. So what I am saying is that energy, it is what something has to be spended for non-zero amount of current flow. But what is the, how to define the power is that the rate at which this particular energy is changing with respect to time is what the power. So the notation we are using for energy is W. The notation we are using for power is P, that equal to what is that? dW by dQ. So this is the notation for the power. So the rate at which, dW by dt, the rate at which this energy is changing is known as power. And this particular power is a function of time. The most correct word to say this particular quantity is nothing but instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. So because that is changing with respect to time, because P is function of time here. See, I can slightly manipulate this relation by multiplying and dividing dq. So I can write this is dW by dq into what I can write? I can write dq by dt. So that dq is cancelled. So dW by dt will get. But you see, dW by dq is nothing but B, dq by dt is nothing but I. So if these are function of time, so this Pt is equal to Vt into It. So this is product of voltage and current. Or simply we are writing this is Vi. If both are constant, it is simply Vi. If both are time varying, this is Vt into It. That is what we mean by the instantaneous power here. Okay, that is fine. What is the point? I have put a star mark there before explaining this. That you should understand here one point, that this power is simply product of voltage and current. It is independent of nature of elements. That is the point I want to tell you. This relation is independent of nature of element. That is, you are using the formula I square R V square by R. These all formulas you are using, but that is valid with respect to the resistors only. So even if you do not know what is the element, suppose an element is there in a black box there, you don't know what is the element, let this element is X. So if you know that what is the voltage and what is the amount of current passing, then you can find what is the power, that is Vi. So that is the point I am telling you. This relation is independent of nature of element. We just need that what is the amount of voltage and what is the amount of current that is passing through that particular element. That is what the power. So if this is the power relation, then the energy we can define in terms of power is integral of P dt. Integral of P dt. So this is what the energy relation. This also, if this is time varying, this will also be time varying. Wt equal to integral of P dt. So this is also known as instantaneous energy, because these are all the function of time. So repeatedly we will be using this relation particularly in the inductor capacitor chapters, and this one P equal to Vit also there also I will use, but again resistor coils also we will be using this particular concept. So let us wait for that time, we will see. So once again I am highlighting that this P equal to Vi is independent of nature of element, and if you want to calculate the energy also, we do not need what is the value of this element or what kind of element. We simply need what is the power, and just we need to integrate that with respect to time. So this is what the basic electric quantities. Okay. Then the fourth concept is energy absorbance principle. Energy absorbance principle. This is the fourth concept. So, what is this energy absorbance principle? Please remember, I hope you have some idea regarding the independent source and dependent source. Listen the statement. I write the statement here. This is very important statement, particularly in the transient, and while understanding the KVL, all those things we'll use this. What is the energy absorption principle? What this particular element says is that as long as a single independent source is present in a network, listen to the statement, as long as a single independent source is connected in a network, the property of the resistor, inductor, capacitor, that is R, L, C element, they always used to absorb the energy. But whenever they used to absorb the energy, the current through them is always flows from positive terminal to negative terminal. So, whenever they are absorbing energy, the current through them is always from positive to negative. This happens in the presence of at least one independent source. But whenever I am saying the energy is getting absorbed by resistor, inductor, capacitor, there is a difference between energy absorbed by resistor and the energy absorbed by L and C elements. What is the difference between these two particular terms? That whenever I am talking about the energy absorbed by resistor, whatever the energy that the resistor absorbs, that much of amount of energy is always get dissipated by form of heat only. However, if you are coming to inductor and capacitor, whatever the amount of energy they used to absorb, no amount of energy is getting lost in form of heat. All these things all are getting stored. In capacitor it is stored in electrostatic form, and in the inductor it is stored in electromagnetic form. Right? In the magnetic form, and there is electrostatic form it is to store. So, this is what the scenario in the presence of independent source. But once you are removing the particular independent source from the network, what happens is the stored energy in the inductor and capacitor, they will start delivering their stored energy to the resistor. So, whenever they used to deliver that energy, the current through them is always from negative terminal to positive terminal. When that happens is that whenever there is no independent source present in the network. So, you didn't understand anything, let me write down the statement, I will explain this. In presence of at least one independent source, in presence of at least one independent source, the property, in presence of at least one independent source, the property of R, L, C element is to absorb the energy. Whenever they absorb energy, current through them is always flows from positive to negative. This is first statement. I will elaborate this. The energy absorbed by resistor is always dissipated in form of heat. However, the energy absorbed by L and C elements is always stored. Last statement is, in the absence of independent source only. In the absence of independent source only, LC elements delivers the stored energy, delivers the stored energy to R when they deliver energy. The current through them is always from negative to positive. Let me read this first statement. In the presence of at least one independent source, the property of RLC element is to absorb the energy. Whenever they absorb energy, the current through them is always flows from positive to negative. Next statement. The energy absorbed by resistor is always dissipated in form of heat. However, the energy absorbed by LC element is always stored. Last statement. In the absence of independent source only, the LC elements delivers the stored energy to R. When they delivers the energy, the current through them is always from negative to positive. What is the meaning of this? See, suppose I am considering a simple RC network like this. So suppose this is the RC network is like this here. So here, let us say a voltage source, a constant voltage source I have connected here. I have connected a constant voltage source. Let us assume that the value of this voltage source is Vs, this value of this is R, this is C. So with respect to this statement, in presence of at least one independent source, so in the presence of this particular independent source, all the RLC element here, for simplicity I have taken the RC circuit, they used to absorb the energy. Whenever they used to absorb the energy, the current through them is always from positive to negative. So here, in the influence of this, the current will pass in this direction. So when the current is passing in this direction, wherever the current will enter, that will be plus, minus, plus, minus. It is meaning that with respect to this current, if this is the thing, this element is absorbing power, this also absorbing the power or energy. So whenever they are absorbing the energy, whatever the energy is getting absorbed by this particular element, that is getting dissipated in form of heat, but whatever energy this is absorbing, that much of amount of energy is getting stored. No amount of energy is getting dissipated as long as you are assuming that the elements are ideal elements. So this is the scenario in the presence of independent source. Please remember, this is what happening in presence of independent source only. If there is no independent source, this will not happen. Now, let us say that by connecting this particular voltage source, that because of the current passing, this capacitor has been stored some amount of energy. And now, what we are doing is, we are simply removing that particular capacity, that particular source, and we are making this as a source free circuit. Means, there is not even a single independent source in the network. So, what happens is, now, whatever the energy this element has stored, now that will start delivering that. So, this will start delivering, what I am saying is, the current through them is always from negative to positive. That is the statement I told you. In the absence of independent source. So, the first case is in the presence, and here this is in the absence. In the absence of independent source, the stored energy in the RLC element will be delivered to what? The memoryless resistor. So, whenever they are delivering the energy, the current through them always flow from negative to positive. So, when the current is flowing in this direction, so the current will enter here. So, wherever current is entering, as this is always the absorbing element, so here this is plus to minus. Here this is plus to minus. See, one doubt you may have, that from where I am getting this plus, minus, minus, plus, all this sign. See, we are not conducting any kind of experiment here. So, if you are doing practical in the laboratory, by using the various device, if you are making some interconnection, you can measure that what is the energy, these, that things you can do. But because our analysis in the pen and paper only, we have to follow some amount of convention or some kind of convention. So, those are the things we need to follow here. So this is the scenario in the presence of independent source. Here no independent source. No independent source. So you see here the current direction has been changed, but the polarity of capacitor has not changed. I will come to the region of this in the inductor capacitor, why the polarity should change, why the polarity should not change, why current direction is changing, all those things I will explain in that chapter, but for the time being you take this as a fact only. So this is the scenario in the presence and in the absence of this particular thing. Repeatedly we are going to use this statement while analyzing the Kirchhoff's law, as well as particular in the transient, this concept will be very much useful. I will again re-highlight on that point, but for the time being you consider all these things. One more point here I would like to tell you that here with respect to this current I have put it the plus minus like this. Suppose for example, let us say this current is 2 ampere like this. Let us say this current is 2 amperes. You can also make an argument with me that why can't I take this current as minus 2 ampere? Why can't I take this current minus 2 ampere? Yes, you are also equally valid, because 2 ampere in this direction is equivalent to minus 2 ampere in this direction. So if you are marking the polarity, that will be with respect to this particular current, which is a negative current. So here the basic assumption is the current value, this I, is the positive current. I is the positive current. The positive current will enter in this direction. That is the meaning. Okay. You may not feel the importance of this now, but this what we will use repeatedly in the transient. Then fifth one is power convention. Power convention. What is the meaning of power convention? Like repeatedly you will see in the papers, this element is absorbing this much of power, delivering this much of power. So like this is a statement you are always going to get in the exam if some question is framed based on the power concept. So you should get clear that how to identify in a particular interconnection whether an element is absorbing power or delivering power. So that is the point that I want to say this is power convention. So before we move, one statement you should be very much clear that absorbing 20 watt is equal to delivering minus 20 watt. Similarly, delivering 20 watt is equal to absorbing minus 20 watt. Absorbing minus 20 watt. These statements are equally valid, right? Let's say you have taken 100 rupees from me, it is equivalent to I have taken minus 100 rupees from you. So these statements are equivalent. So sometime you may get some negative answer. So delivering minus 20 watt means it is the absorbing 20 watt. Based on this we got one question electrical this year. We will solve that problem, wait for some time. So that is what the absorbing and delivering the power. Okay, now how to identify that whether an element is absorbing or delivering? As I told you that the power is simply a product of voltage and current. So there are two possible case arises, that let us say this element is X. I told you power is independent of nature of element. What we need to know is that what is the voltage and what is the current. So there are two possible cases. So one is this case, the second one is this. So again this element is X. We don't know what is this element. It can be voltage source, it can be current source, it can be resistor, inductor, capacitor. We don't know what is that. Let us assume that some arbitrary element, this is X. By using the network analysis, we need to find out what is the voltage here V. So let us say that voltage is given to you. How to find this voltage? We have to apply Kirchhoff's law. We will solve a couple of examples based on this. Suppose applying the Kirchhoff's law, you are getting some voltage here like this here, and the current here is flowing this direction. Another one is, suppose this is minus plus, this is current is I. So here there are two possible configuration, either this or this. But the difference you are getting between these two particular diagram is current is entering on the positive terminal. So this is, if this is the case, if the current is entering on the positive terminal, so this element is said to be absorbing power with respect to this reference current. In the similar way, if the current is entering in the negative terminal, the element is said to be delivering the power with respect to this reference current. So whatever we are saying, that with respect to this particular reference current only. So let me write down the statement. So this is very important. If the current, if the reference current or defined current, if the reference current, note down this statement you also, if the reference current enters on positive terminal, if the reference current enters on positive terminal, it is said to be absorbing power. It is said to be absorbing power with respect to that reference current only. This is very important, with respect to that reference current only. Similar manner, if the reference current enters on negative terminal, this is positive, this is negative terminal, it is said to be delivering power with respect to that reference current only, with respect to that reference current only, right? So this current is entering here, so this is plus to minus, so this is said to be absorbing power with respect to this particular current. This is said to be delivering power with respect to this particular current. And what is the value of voltage, what is the value of current, that we have to determine by using the Kirchhoff's law. So to have a clarity on this, let us work out some examples, small things, so that will give some clarity to you. The question is, comment on the power of each element shown in figures. So let me take down. Let us say there are various elements are there. We don't know, let us say this is a 12-volt supply, and through this a 2 ampere current is passing like this. Then what is the power? So this is question number 1, let's say. Question number 2 is like this, plus minus, this is minus 2 ampere. This is again 12 volt you consider. Third case is plus minus, this is minus 2 ampere, this is minus 12 volt. It's like this. The fourth case is, let's say this is a current source whose value is 2 amperes, the polarity is 7 volt. Fifth one is minus 6 amperes, and minus plus minus 6 volt or minus 7 volt. The sixth one is minus plus minus 12 volt minus 2 amperes. Then the seventh one is two ampere minus plus minus 6 volt. Eighth one is the element X. This current is minus 2 ampere. This is minus plus 6 volt. Ninth one is again some element X. This current is 3 ampere. This current is minus plus minus 6 volt. So like this, you can have any number of these things. We are interested to see what is the status of power that is getting absorbed or delivered by these elements here. So as I already told you that we simply need that what is the voltage current value. We don't need that what kind of element is it. So to start with this, the first one you see, you always remember this two statement to comment all this. That's why I have not erased this. If the reference current enters on the positive terminal, it is said to be absorbing power with respect to that reference current only. With respect to that reference current only. With respect to that reference current only. So these are very important statements. See, power is simply product of voltage and current. That already I told you. So here power is nothing but equal to how much? 24 watts. So 24 watts. But the thing is absorbing or delivering. See, here the current is entering where? On the positive terminal. So I will say this is absorbing. So shortly I am writing this is A. So that's what I have written with respect to this particular current only. Similarly, if you come to second case, this is 12, this is minus 2. So what is the power here? This is product of simply product of voltage and current including the sign. Remember the statement including the sign. So here power is product of this and this. 12 into minus 2 is minus 24 watts. So minus 24 watt absorbing or delivering? Definitely absorbing only, because to evaluate the power I am using this current here. 12 into minus 2 minus 24 watt. So that is absorbing, because this current is entering where? On the positive terminal. That's the statement I told you. If the reference current enters on the positive terminal, it is said to be absorbing power with respect to that reference current only. Because I have used this particular current to calculate this, so I have to comment whether absorbing or delivering with respect to this particular current only. So this is minus 24 watt absorbing, which is equivalent to, I told you, this is plus 24 watt delivering. In the similar manner, minus 12 into minus 2 is plus 24. So plus 24 absorbing or delivering? Definitely absorbing, because to evaluate this one we need to refer which current? This current, because I am multiplying this into this. Don't miss that sign. You consider this negative sign. Minus 12 into minus 2 is plus 24. So how to calculate absorbing or delivering? Then you come to the current. So where the current is entering? Current is entering where? On the plus. So that it is absorbing. Similarly, this is a current source. 2 into 7 is 14. So 14 watt? Definitely delivering. Current is entering where? Negative terminal. So what about this? Product is how much? Minus 6 into minus 7 is plus 42. Plus 42 watt? Absorbing or delivering? Current is entering where? On the positive terminal here. So this is absorbing. Minus 12 into minus 2. So plus 24. Current is entering where? Current is entering where? On the plus terminal. So that this is absorbing. Here minus 6 into 2 is how much? Minus 12. Minus 12. What is that? Absorbing or delivering? Definitely delivering only. Because 2 into minus 6 is minus 12. So minus 12 the power. Absorbing or delivering means where the current is entering. Current is entering where? On the negative terminal only. So that this is delivering, because I told you if the current enters on the negative terminal. So this is the statement with respect to which current? This particular current. So which equal to plus 12 watt absorbing. Both are same statement. So these are the similar thing, but here the element we don't know what is that X. but already I told you this is the product of voltage and current only. So 6 into minus 2 is minus 12 watt. Observing and delivering, definitely delivering only, because this we have taken this current as a reference. So this current entering where on the negative terminal. So this is plus 12 watt absorbing. In the similar manner, 3 into minus 6 is minus 8. What is that? Delivering. Minus 18 delivering, which equal to plus 18 absorbing. I hope you will not confuse here onwards. Simply you don't have to consider what is positive current, what is negative, not like that. Whatever the current is there, simply multiply voltage and current, including the sign. Don't skip the sign. Some people's, they will write here it is 2 ampere going in this, that is also correct. But why to go into that? It is again confusing. So always product of voltage and current directly, including the sign. So now to comment on observing and delivering, refer this statement. Remember this statement. If that current is entering on positive, that is said to be absorbing. If that current is entering on the negative, is said to be delivering. So this is what your power convention. In the books they are writing this is active sign convention, they are writing. Both are same thing. One more point here is that is, all of you know this, the power balance equation. Power balance equation. What is the meaning of this? What is the power balance equation? Means the net power available in a network at any time is always 0. The net power available in a network at any time is always 0. So this net, this word is very important. The net, what is the meaning of this? That means, that is the power absorbed by some element is equal to the power delivered by the remaining element, in the network. The power absorbed by some element is equal to the power delivered by the remaining element in the network. Mathematically you can write this is sum of power absorbed is equal to sum of power delivered. This relation will always valid. We will solve a couple of examples based on this. We will see that. So concept number 5 is also over. Concept number 6. What the concept number 6 is? Condition for flow of current. Condition for flow of current. This condition what I am going to mention, these are necessary but not sufficient condition. Means compulsorily this condition has to satisfy it, but apart from that also some cases are there, it may not satisfy also, we will see that. Necessary but not sufficient condition. What is the first statement is? The first statement is there should be at least one independent there should be at least one independent source in the network. The second statement is there must be close as well as return path for flow of current. So this statement should always satisfy. You may be thinking that there may exist a potential difference, so that because of potential difference current will flow. That statement is always not correct. You wait some time, I will show that what is the meaning of that. Anyway, see how to explain the first statement is, suppose for example you have a simply register like this, some simple register network like this. So let's take 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, 4 ohm, so arbitrary value of this register you take. First condition says there should be at least one independent source in the network. So here, if I am asking you what is the amount of current in the network means, obviously answer is 0, because there is not even a single independent source. These kind of networks are known as dead network. These kind of networks known as dead network. So this is one possibility. Another possibility is, I have not explained you, but there is something known as dependent source. Suppose a dependent source is there like this, plus minus, this is 2Ix. And this is, the Ix is given like this. Let us say this is 1 ohm, this is 2 ohm, this is 3 ohm resistors. So these are some resistor, and this is what the dependent source. In this also, if I am asking you what is the amount of current passing, blindly you can say the current is always 0. The current is always 0. How do you write this? You write a KVL equation on this loop. So how much you will get? 6Ix is equal to 2Ix, right? So if you solve that one, definitely the answer you will get is 0. The answer is 0. Ix value will be 0. So there must be at least one independent source in the network. If this is not there, it is impossible that some amount of current will pass in the network. However, if I am connecting any voltage source or current source like this, now Ix will not be equal to 0. In this case, Ix will not be equal to 0. So the compulsory condition is there must be at least one independent source in the network. Otherwise, the network is said to be what? A dead network. Otherwise, the network is said to be dead network. So this is an example of what? A dead network. We'll again make use of this after some time. So this is the thing, one thing. Then the second condition what I am saying is there should be close as well as return path for flow of current. What is the meaning of this? Suppose already this question came in some 2009 gate, I guess. Suppose this is a network I am drawing like this. This is 10 volt, this is 1 ohm resistor, this is 2 ohm resistor, this is 3 ohm resistor. In this particular network, if I am asking what is this current I, what is the amount of current that is passing through this particular resistor, then what is your answer? You may think that current will go here, current will divide here, 2 and 3, it will come back, but this will never happen. Remember, there must be close as well as return path, That means, if it is starting here, there compulsorily that has to be return path, otherwise it's not possible. See, one thing here, if it is starting, so current will divide here. Okay, according to you, let's say I am assuming that the current will divide here, current will divide here. So here the current will meet. So here some amount of current will go. So, but here, what is that? The path is open here. So how the current can again come back to here? So if some amount of current has been passed, that has to come back here. So I am just explaining like this will go this way, but this will never happen. So I am telling the reason why it is so. Because if this is the amount of current that is passing through this, that must be again entering through this only. Then only the current can flow. But it is not happening here. Even if there is a closed path, here it's a closed path, but there is no return path for this current. So I equal to 0 blindly I can say in this case. I equal to 0. So here there should be at least one independent source, I told you, but here I am telling you these are the necessary condition, but these are not the sufficient condition. So here you see, even if there is an independent source, still there is a closed path, but still this current is 0 because there is no return path for the current. This example is very much important. However, now let me close this particular path by a 4 ohm resistor now, by a 4 ohm resistor. So now definitely some amount of current will pass through this. That depends, right? Why? Because from here current will divide here, and whatever current is coming, that current, there is a path. This 4 ohm resistor is giving a path to return this current to this particular terminal, which is either not there. So definitely the current will pass. So that is the condition. There must be close as a return path for the flow of current. If return path is not there, it cannot flow. Based on this, there are two problems. Let me come to the Kirchhoff's law. I'll solve that. In 2012 we got one problem. In 95 we got one more problem based on these concepts. Okay, we'll come to that a bit moment later. So these are the two important conditions. You may think that there must be some potential difference exist. So like this the statement may be there in your mind, but I'll come to that reasoning. Let me explain the short circuit and open circuit concept first of all in the resistors. So this is the concept number 6. Now the concept number 7 is node, branch, mesh, loop. So these are the repeated terms we are using in the entire subject. So let us have an understanding on this. So in order to explain this, I am considering one particular interconnection. I will explain all these things from this only. Let us say here this is x1, this is x2. x3, x4. x6, right? Let us say that it is some arbitrary interconnection I have done, irrespective of element x1, x2. That can be anything. This can be voltage source, those can be current source, those can be anything else. So now, what is the definition of a node? Node, it is a junction where two or more elements are connected. Two or more elements are connected. Okay. See, these are two elements, those are connected. So I can say this point is a node, this point is a node, this point is a node, like this I can say. But whenever I am saying this statement, these nodes are classified into two categories. One is known as simple node. Second one known as principal node. What is the meaning of this? Simple node means only two elements are there. Only two elements. Principal node means more than two elements are there. More than two elements are there. Simple node means only two elements. Principal node is more than two elements are there. One point here, you should be a bit careful that if there is no element connected between 2 points, if there are no element connected between 2 points, that entire path has to be considered as a single node only. What I mean to say, see, between this particular point to this particular point, there is no other elements here, right? So this entire wire, whatever I have connected, that has to be considered a single node only, because I can either compress this or I can expand this. In a similar manner, this seems to be two different nodes, but these are not two different nodes, please, because these are connected by a piece of wire. In between that, there is no other elements are there. So this particular bottom one, so this entire bottom here, this one has to be considered as a single node only. In a similar manner, this has to be considered as a single node only, right? Because similarly, this also a single node, right? So this also a single node. So that's the point I am telling you, that it is a point or it's a junction where two or more elements are connected. So if the number of elements those are connected is 2, that is said to be a simple elements. If it is more than 2, that is said to be principal node, simple node and principal node. So here I will say this is a simple node, right? Why? Because in this there are 2 nodes are there. What about this? This is a principal node. Why principal? Because 3 elements are there, x2, x3 and x4. What about this one? So this particular node also said to be a principal node, because there are again 3 elements are connected, x4, x5 as well as x6. What about this? This is also a principal node. So here this is, let me write, this is simple node 1, ns1, right? So here np2 or np2, principal node 2, np3 and np4, right? So this is what the meaning of simple node and the principal node. So the point is, if there is a piece of wire is there, in between that wire, if no element is connected, that has to be considered as a single node only, right? So that point you should remember. So simple node and principal node. Sometimes we say degree of node, right? Degree of node. What is the meaning of that? Degree of node means how many elements are connected to that particular node. So I will say the degree of this node is 2, degree of this node is 3. If there are 4, 5, 6, degree are 5, 6, like that we can say. Okay, but what is the speciality or uniqueness of this particular thing is that all the lead converging to a particular node, or the lead converging to a particular node are at same potential with respect to ground or a reference node. So whenever we analyze any kind of circuits, we always used to refer something that is known as reference node. So here normally the bottom of the network is considered to be a reference node, because it is a logical choice to select a particular node where many elements are being incident, or many elements are connected. Because if this is the case, if you are solving this network, if you are writing some equations, that leads minimum number of equations. We can as well take this as a reference node or this as a reference node, but that will unnecessarily complicate the situation. So that's why you don't write the nodal equation there. Means we don't take those as the reference node, we only take these are the reference node normally, but there is nothing wrong if you take this other reference node also. So what is the point is, all the lead converging to a particular node are at the same potential with respect to ground. So let me assume that this particular element is some ground voltage 0 volt. It is meaning that in this particular network, all the lead converging to a particular node. So let me concentrate this particular node. It says that all the lead means what? This is a lead, this is a lead, this is a lead. 3 leads are there. This lead means wires. So all the wires are converging to a particular node are at same potential with respect to ground. So what is the potential of this, and what is the potential of this, and what is the potential of this with respect to this point are same. If I am assuming this is VA, VB, VC, VA equal to VB equal to VC. That is my point to tell you. So you may not feel the importance of this now. I will solve one problem. On that time I will remind you that this is the concept I told you, that the wires converging to a particular node are at the same potential. Next, another thing is here, that this concept of these simple nodes or these principal nodes gives two popular interconnection. So what are the interconnection? Those are known as series interconnection and parallel interconnection. So if I am asking you, when two elements are said to be in series? 90% of people will answer when the current through two elements is same, they are said to be series. When the voltage of two elements are same, they are said to be parallel. So this statement is partially true, but this statement is not always true. The reason is, that is the statement what we are saying, that is a derived statement. What is the logical region or what is the proper answer for a series or for a parallel is? Let me write down here. Series connector means two elements are said to be in series. Two elements are said to be in series if they share a simple node and hence the same current Two elements are said to be in series if they share a simple node and hence the same current. See, I will say x1 and x2 are in series because they are getting shared by a simple node here. You may be thinking that why I am exaggerating this, because see, in a particular network, suppose this is a element voltage source is there, this is some element is there. Suppose the current passing through this element is 2 amperes and here also intermediately some sources are also there. So because of this, in a combined effect, let us say this is 2 ampere current, this is also 2 ampere current. Do you say x1 and x2 are in series? Because because normally we say that when the current through two elements is same, those are said to be in series. But the statement is not exactly correct. The right statement is this one, that they should be shared by a simple node and hence the same current. That is the proper statement. Because you cannot say that if here this is 2 ampere, this is 2 ampere, x1, x2, xc are in series. That is a user statement. You cannot say like that. Right? Similarly, two elements said to be in parallel if they share a common pair of node and hence the same voltage. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is, see, obviously you can say here x5 and x6 are contained in parallel. You see this definition, two elements are said to be in parallel if they share a common pair of node. That is, these two elements x5 and x6, they are getting shared by a common pair of node. What is the node pair? That node pair is nothing but NP3 and NP4 and hence the voltage is same. In other words, if this voltage is 2 volt and this voltage is 2 volt, you cannot say that these two are in the parallel. You don't say that when the voltage is same, those are in parallel. That is a special case of this particular thing. But they are said to be parallel if they share by a what? If they are shared by a common pair of node. Series means a simple node they should share and hence the same current. Parallel connection means a common pair of node and hence the same voltage. But saying firstly the voltage is same or saying the current is same, that statement is not 100% correct. Right? That may be a special case of this. So this is what the node. So let us take a break and we will discuss regarding the branch and the related concepts. Jinkar from Bangalore. Sir, since we are left with less than a month, how effectively can we manage to study networks? The point I'm telling you, Jinkar, that just concentrate on the class. If you are lacking on the concepts, concentrate on the class only. Because see, I told you around 70% of the problems what I will cover, those are the conceptual problem from the GATE exam only. Each year nowadays only we are getting the repeated model. Circuits are changing, concepts are same. I hope this will be a good stuff for you to attend the GATE exam if attending the lectures. I hope so. Anup from Calicut. If 230 volt AC is mentioned, is it RMS or peak? RMS, Anup, not peak. Because AC signal we are defining with respect to its energetic strength, that is RMS. I'll explain all this concept. Wait. Next again Anup is asking, if two voltage sources are connected in series, will the current flow from positive to negative terminal of smallest voltage source? Wait, I will explain this. This concept I will explain. There won't be anything left. Nope, you wait some time. Amit, please explain the concept of energy and power again. Amit, and to all of you I am saying, if you are asking some concept to explain again, it is not possible. Why should I explain again and again, repeatedly, slowly I am moving, that too I am writing also, because the introductory means below this, slow I cannot go. You refer video on demand. Conceptual doubt you ask, I will happily accept, but explaining concept again is not a good idea. Because you may not understand because others are understanding, right? Somdeep, sir, current is always flows from with respect to voltage from positive to negative. Sir, current is always flows with respect to positive. Yes, positive, that's what. See, suppose this is a 5 volt source, here a 3 volt source is there, if you are considering some resistance here. So definitely positive current direction will be from 5 to 3 volt only. You can also argue negative current is flowing from 3 to 5. That is meaningless. What you are saying, that is correct. Positive current direction is always from higher potential to lower potential. Okay, Sanjay from Mumbai. Sir, in the direction of current or capacitor, in power difference classes, we did like capacitor is unidirectional. So the direction of current will be same when the independent source is removed, but the terminals are interchanged in capacitor. Current direction will change, but the polarity will remain the same. That is reverse in the inductor case. You wait for the inductor capacitor class. On that day I will explain this. In inductor case, current direction, that inductor case what happens, current direction remains the same but polarity changes. But in capacitor case, voltage polarity remains the same, current direction always changes. There is some communication gap, Sanjog. I hope you missed some concept. This is a wrong concept what you are saying, it's not correct. Amit, why we get shock? I mean, human being when we touch open wire carrying a current. Okay, we wait, in the inductor chapter I will explain this. Again, Jankar from Bangalore. In the 7th example of power convention, how is the current flowing to negative terminal? Please explain. Jankar, I don't have those questions. Randomly I have drawn some circuits. Okay, if I don't think I have done any kind of conceptual mistake. If writing mistake is there, I'll check it. I'll check it after the class in video on demand. I'll get back to you if is there any conceptual mistake. Dheeraj Kumar from Ajmer. Sir, please repeat again about the series connection. What is the series connection? Two elements is shared by a series, that is a simple node. That is series. A pair of node means parallel. What is the extra thing? Series means current same, voltage means parallel means voltage same.